As co-winners of the Ubisoft Indie Series in 2017, we received not only generous funding, but also crucial mentorship and access to the Ubisoft testing facilities.
Okay,
so we're grateful
testing.
to Ubisoft for their support and helping us make what would become our biggest success to date. We've taken that experience with us onto what is our most ambitious production yet, and that's Spiritfarer.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome
which we're calling
to
a cozy management game
official
about dying.
YongYea
In
live
Spiritfarer, you play
stream
Stella,
of
the
Ubisoft
newly appointed
Forward.
ferry master
This
to the
is
deceased.
basically
And
their
as Stella, you're going
replacement
to build a boat, you're going to
for
explore the
E3.
world in search of
They're
spirit
hosting a
passengers
digital
seeking
live stream
passage
event
to the
like everyone
afterlife.
else.
You're going to spend relaxing
And,
quality time
yeah,
with them, you're going
curious
to
to
create
see what
lasting
they have to
memories,
show.
but ultimately you're going to have to learn how to say goodbye to your
They're
cherished
probably
friends.
going to show Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
It's a game that's near and dear
Watch
to our
Dogs
hearts,
Legion.
and something really special. We
Whatever
can't wait
Gods and
to share it with the
Monsters
world
has
later
become.
this year. So look for it
That's a
soon
game that apparently
on
is,
PC, on Xbox One, PS4,
like there's a lot of
Nintendo
changes
Switch,
that's happened with
and
that
Xbox
game,
Game
and
Pass.
they've even
Thanks a
changed
lot.
the name
And
of the
cheers.
game. So expect to see that.
It is time for an update
Far
on
Cry
our
6
favorite
leaks.
motorcycle platform
Giancarlo
with insanity,
Esposito,
pain, and triumph
Gustavo
we all
Fring
know
himself
and we all love.
is going to be the
Charles
main
Rising
villain
came out
for
last
that,
year, but I think
which
the
is
team
kind of
from our
cool, but
Redmond
hopefully
studio
they can also
in-house
evolve the
thinking has a
gameplay.
little surprise coming to the game for
so
the
yeah,
fans
you know,
of the
I
franchise.
think,
So let's take a look.
Yeah, I think there's some good stuff to look forward to. How is the volume? Video too loud.
We're here today to introduce you to an exciting new endurance challenge coming to Trials Rising. But to make sure that we respect social distancing guidelines,
How about
Monty and I
that? Is that better?
Do I fire the goose now?
What? Fire the goose?
Fire!
This is why it's good to have this pre-stream moment so that we can adjust technical issues.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Gigatrack.
Let's see. How about now? Testing 1, 2, 3. Is this good or a little more?
Far from a remake of the classic track from Trials Evolution, this is an all-new journey across the world of Trials Rising, in by far the longest track that we've ever put in a trial.
Did you tell him it's the longest track ever?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm telling him that.
People are saying it's better.
By far the longest track we've ever put in a Trials game. The Gigatrack will take you across many different environments, from the iconic...
You know what? For now, let's mute this. Because none of this is really super relevant to what we're here for today. This is a pre-show showing off kind of existing Ubisoft titles and highlighting some indies and the like. So, yeah, we can keep this muted for now. So, yeah. Hopefully I can adjust the volume a little better for when the show actually begins. Anyway, what are you guys expecting out of this show? I should also note that I did get my hands on both Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Watch Dogs Legion. And my impressions of that are going up right after Ubisoft Forward ends. It's already scheduled. So at 12:45 p.m. Pacific, my impressions of both of those games are going to be up. And that's all I can say for now. The embargo, you know, is the embargo lifts at 12:45, so I cannot share my impressions or I'd be breaking embargo. So all I can tell you is, if you want to know what my thoughts are on both of those games, yeah, look forward to that. Look forward to 12:45. Be on the lookout for those videos. Prince of Persia and Splinter Cell. I don't know. I would love nothing more than a new Prince of Persia and Splinter Cell. I feel like expecting those here would be setting ourselves up for disappointment. So I personally do not think we're going to see either of those. Let's see. Rainy's Variety Channel. Do you think there will be any news on Splinter Cell? Honestly, I don't think so. But if there is, I will lose my freaking mind. Terminator 6267, will you be reporting on about Ubisoft's workplace issues? I think so, yes. I have like tabs open in my web browser with a number of articles on that front and the measures that they're taking after all these allegations. So yeah, I'm thinking about maybe making a video on that. There's a lot of drastic changes going on at Ubisoft with the head guy who kind of greenlights games basically resigning after allegations. So yeah, that definitely is a pretty big deal. Apparently he's the guy who came up with the whole, you know, open world monetization model that a lot of these Ubisoft games tend to use. So cannot say I'm a fan of the guy. But yeah, the allegations in particular, just the sweeping, yeah, just the sweeping issues that have cropped up about Ubisoft, according to various reports. Yeah, I mean, it's a hell of a thing going on over there. Oregon 9581. I'm hoping for them to finally give us some gameplay of Beyond Good and Evil 2 and Skull and Bones. Ooh, yeah, we're probably gonna see Skull and Bones. That's I forgot that existed, but yeah, I expect to see that. Beyond Good and Evil 2. I'm gonna stop holding out hope for that game. I don't know if we're ever gonna see that. It's been announced and then it's gone dormant and then it's been re-announced, and that's happened multiple times already, and I don't know, it feels like the game's in development hell. So hopefully we'll see Beyond Good and Evil 2, but it's just been silence on that front, radio silence. CJ Poirier says, if last year's E3 was anything to go by, I expect this presentation to be all Tom Clancy. Only Tom Clancy, just Tom Clancy. And don't forget Just Dance. This is the Just Dance Ubisoft Direct, ladies and gentlemen. It's 30 minutes of world premiere Just Dance gameplay. What we are all here for, really. Dragonheart613 says, Prince of Persia, please, Prince of Persia. How's your day, Yong? I just woke up, so my day has only just started. I woke up like an hour before this this live stream here, and I have not had much sleep, by the way. So if I start going off on a tangent and start mumbling and stumbling on my words, it's because I only had like 3 hours of sleep last night. I've just been really busy lately with upcoming content and stuff in general. Mick Birchie says, hoping for a good Tom Clancy game. LOL, I can dream. Maybe gameplay of AC Valhalla. Also big fan of the channel. Hope you're keeping well, dude. Thank you, Mick. Yeah, I'm doing alright. Thank you for supporting the channel. And yeah, Valhalla is a given. We're definitely going to see gameplay of Valhalla. And again, I did play Valhalla, and they recorded the gameplay that I played on their end, and they sent me that footage, and I used that to edit my video. So you're going to see some gameplay, plenty of gameplay, in my hands-on impressions. Again, can't say more than that because the embargo hasn't lifted yet. So just look forward to that. It's 2 minutes left, so let me know if the volume is good. Jeez, I mean, how loud is the Ubisoft board? I really have to dial down the decibels here. Let's go a little more, maybe. Alright, how about that? I think that should be good.
I was gonna interrogate him. Oh, you can interrogate this guy, though. Oh, okay.
Zach McBride says, thanks for covering the Atari disaster. Save me money. Love the videos. You're welcome. I really, you know, I'm always rooting for retro consoles to do well, that companies will nail their retro console pursuits, but Atari, whatever that company's become now, they've really fucked up. Like, it's straight up just a scam. It's pretty awful. Doomy0884, I want a new Splinter Cell, but I'm scared that it's going to be open world and heavily monetized. Yeah, I'm scared about
So
that
there's a
for any
line that
Ubisoft
people
game,
want
really,
me
that
to
they're
yell.
gonna take the same old Ubisoft formula and plaster it
I can't
across all their
usually do it
titles,
because I'll
like
freak out my neighbors.
Far Cry and
But,
Assassin's
as you
Creed,
can
and
see, I'm at the
you know, all
Crash
these
and
games
Ocean Beach.
feel like they ultimately have the
There's no
same
one too
format and
close,
open world
so-
formula.
Reloading! Fuck, someone saw me. I gotta
Wow,
go.
alright. The guy really wants you to know that he's reloading. Briskhound, what if we got another army of 2? Are you sick of Tom Clancy Division? Also, please make t-shirt merch something subtle. Funny you should say that. Look forward to just yeah, keep your eyes peeled on that front. But Army of 2, I'm not too familiar with that IP. As for Tom Clancy and Division, I don't play much. I don't play Division, so I don't know. I don't know how the game's been holding up lately.
If you also have amazing gameplay segments you captured from our games, spread the joy.
I don't mind
and
Tom
submit them on
Clancy.
the
It's
link
just
displayed on
I'm
your
tired
screen
of the
right now.
Ubisoft formula.
All right, guys, it is
Like,
time for us
they
to
really
wrap
need to
up this
mix
pre-show.
Don't forget to stay tuned for our post-show
their
featuring a deep dive into the
gameplay
world of
format
Assassin's Creed
more. Their
Valhalla.
open world
Thanks a
experiences
lot for
need
watching
to
this
be.
pre-show and enjoy Ubisoft Forward.
Oh, we got 12 seconds left. All right, so I'm gonna shut up. I'm sorry I couldn't get through all the messages. Thomas Young says Just Dance Remaster is gonna be awesome, and we'll close off with that and head into Ubisoft Forward. Okay, Ubisoft, show us a lot of gameplay.
This is Ubisoft Forward. Explore our worlds.
Meet the devs. See the games.
Join us.
Okay.
Hi everyone, I'm Neelam Kumar,
Fancy
and
little
I'm
intro.
very excited to be co-hosting the first Ubisoft Forward with the talented Yusuf Mageed. Today's show is all about getting up close and in-depth with all the exciting games we have in production here at Ubisoft.
No Aisha Tyler, huh?
I'm Yusuf, but there's no time to waste. So let's head straight for the streets of futuristic London and see what
Watch
the
Dogs
hackers of
Legion.
DedSec are getting into.
The illegal paintings spreading subversive and hostile messaging over the last few weeks across London are not the work of several people as was originally believed.
Not
but the work of an
actual
individual.
gameplay.
The criminals suspected to have links with the terrorists.
Oh, this is a live action short film? Skit? Trailer?
Authorities recommend not to approach the individual.
First, they came for the foreigners, and I did not speak out, because I was not a foreigner. Then, they came for the protesters, and I did not speak out, because I was not a protester. Then they came for the journalists, and I did not speak out, because I was not a journalist.
Wow, that guy has ad block on for sure.
And then they came for street
Very
artists,
stylized.
but I did not speak out, because I am not a street artist.
This live action short's, I think it's pretty well made. It's kind of cool. But, you know, people also want to see gameplay, so I'm sure we'll get to that soon, right? And if not, there will be gameplay footage in my hands-on impressions at 12:45 p.m. So look forward to that.
And I realised that eventually they'd come for me, and there would be no
I
one
want to make sure
left
this
to
is
speak for me.
1080p. Yep, good.
All right, so we're in a total mess now, so let's get the hell out of here.
Somebody in the chat said it's not live action. It's not? It kind of looked like... I don't know. Kind of looks like a stylized live action, like they added like a filter over it, but maybe I'm wrong?
London is in chaos. The main arteries...
Oh no, this has got to be live action.
Well, well, well.
Or maybe not?
Welcome to the Resistance.
I don't know.
Here's a welcome gift for our new members.
Maybe it's... Yeah, maybe it's not.
You could have told me it was a bloody...
Now that I'm looking at it...
party.
Try it on.
The new key suspect has been identified as David Ford.
Yeah, when you look at... When you zoom in on the guy's face, it's not live action. It's definitely CGI. Well...
People have been asked
who'd have fooled me? Oh, look at his nose. Ew. Guy has no nose hole, so he like took a Sharpie and just like painted them on. That's interesting. Poor guy.
I'm Clint Hawking.
Clint has been a longtime creative force here at Ubisoft, and now he's bringing this vision to Watch Dogs Legion.
So yeah, what we just saw was an amazing short film by the director Alberto Mielgo that was inspired by Watch Dogs Legion and looks at the game and the universe and the characters through his incredible artistic vision and visual style.
The city needs a resistance.
Like the film, Watch Dogs Legion tells the story of ordinary heroes setting aside their differences in order to come together as a collective and to fight for a positive change. You can literally recruit and play anyone who you see in the open world. You profile people that are interesting to you, you help them with their problem, you play their origin mission.
Just help me get some closure and I'll do whatever you want.
Sounds like a DedSec problem. Leave it to us.
And that's how you recruit them into your team. And then they become the heroes of the game and the stars of your story.
And what are you doing in my flat? You with Albion?
Please, think more underground.
This is a section that I played.
I'm tickled, but think more underground.
What, DedSec? Yeah, right, and I'm Che Guevara. You're done.
And they make the story not only, unique to them, but unique to you as the player and personal to you because they're, heroes that you've chosen and invested in. What would I say to fans? I guess I'd say, take care of yourselves, stay safe. Welcome to the Resistance.
La Résistance.
Our London town. A modern metropolis.
Okay, some gameplay.
Built on history and prosperity. Only took 12,000 years to build it up, and one night to tear it all down.
Oh my God. Listen up. Get all your units to move in and lock down the city.
With London under attack by a mysterious terrorist, the government turns to a private military company called Albion to keep everyone safe. What could possibly go wrong? Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Nigel Cass, CEO of Albion. He's kindly stepped up to establish order.
Understand this. I will not allow anyone, not even myself, to jeopardize this.
Not even myself.
To permanently control the city.
London will be the first city in the world to be made truly safe.
Nigel's not the only opportunist who's taken a liking to this fair city. Meet Mary Kelly, head of the most powerful crime syndicate in London.
Be sure and spread the word.
She and her goons are using the dark web to sell everything from party pills to people.
This microchip is scary, I know, but I got to keep tracks on my merchandise, don't I?
Put some makeup on and she could look like the Joker.
You do not want to ruffle her feathers. With the city out on its arse, it now falls on you to build a resistance and take back London.
All right, everyone. Faces on, guns out.
Any of the brave Londoners you see walking the streets can be recruited into your team. Like him, her, or even her. Everyone could become your next secret weapon. In our first mission, we need to get some dirt on Nigel Cass, and that means breaking into Albion headquarters inside the Tower of London. All the hardy souls you see here are people we have recruited from the streets of London. They all have unique abilities, and you're free to tackle this mission with whoever you like.
Dear God, my eyes.
Badly?
Zip up, get to work, and let's never talk about this again.
Like everyone in DedSec, Arthur can hack pretty much whatever. But as a construction worker, he has a particular set of tools that make him handy.
Badoons.
He can even call his own cargo drone. Perfect for gate crashing, when you're not invited. And who needs a regular old gun when you have a bloody nail gun?
Come here, you side-eyed shithorn.
Wow. Some nail gun fu right there.
Jesus Christ, what is that thing?
Perhaps we could approach this mission differently. If you'd rather keep your distance, we've got you covered. Amy is a drone expert.
What have we here?
A real tech connoisseur.
Hate spiders, but love this one.
What an adorable creepy crawler.
Here we are. Let's class the place up.
A drone expert does have the unique ability to summon their own drone. This little darling is fast and stealthy.
She aimed, she fired, she hit.
I'm reading incoming drones.
There's a huge variety of ways you can tackle missions.
She can also hack enemy drones, turning the tide in her favor.
With all the different abilities and
if you are not
equipment
in a
characters
direct
have,
confrontation,
or
there
NPCs.
are more ways than one to get the job done.
Different types of NPCs.
Recruiting an Albion officer like Brielle here might be challenging, but it'll get you inside restricted Albion areas.
Don't mind me, just doing recon for a bunch of insurgents.
However, do anything suspicious and she'll probably wind up with a bullet in the back of her head.
You've been approved for entry.
We're missing the human element here. I can get the Defense Minister on the line right now.
Well, if you feel you must.
Criminals running our streets, illegals threatening our families, the police commissioner himself, assassinated by terrorists.
Well, that seems to be enough evidence. Next up, we're crashing Mary Kelly's organ farming operation and putting a stop to it.
That's good. The buyers expect high quality stuff.
And we need a hard nut for this.
Impairing our frontal lobe again, are we?
Bags, don't disturb me in my natural habitat.
Say hello to Mickey. The man lives for his team.
That put another hair on my chest.
And doesn't mind getting his hands dirty.
Just wondering how many people are going to go for an army of grandmas, because that's what I want to do. The Boomer Rebellion.
He does have a slight drinking problem, though. And he's passed out. We'll come back to him. You know what? Let's go with someone a bit more professional.
Kind of reminds me of John Wick. Is it just me?
It's almost crass to call him a hitman. Some might even call him an artist.
This is so John Wick inspired. I was like the character model, like the face and the beard, and I don't know. It looks cool though. Like the way they animated this is.
Here's the bastard responsible.
Really well done.
Done and dusted.
Discount John Wick.
Bad if I do say so, innit?
Not everyone in London is a legendary assassin or a super spy, but everyone can be a hero. So get out there, find the best recruits, and and build your resistance. It's time to take back London.
October 29th. Okay, that's...
Plunging the player into a living, breathing city,
3 months from now.
Unique locales and characters, has always been a central pillar of the Watch Dogs series.
So what goes into building those worlds? Here's Amanda Munt to tell us more.
I want to say more, but again, the embargo doesn't lift until 12:45. And again, you'll find everything
My name's Amanda Munt.
they need to know about my thoughts on the 4-hour demo that I played in that video.
Being a level artist, I think, is the coolest job in video games because we do get the freedom to kind of like pick and choose what little details we want to depict. And
Captus
we
Tri
get
says,
ample
did I miss much?
opportunities to tell the stories that we want to tell.
There was
in
like a
the spaces that we're
gameplay
assigned to.
trailer
I have the
of Watch
capacity
Dogs
to hide
Legion.
things and, you know, like
That's about the
small
only thing you
Easter
missed
eggs.
so far.
In AC Unity, there was a boat somewhere in the world that was covered in cats. And then it happened again in Watch Dogs 2. And there may or may not be
What
something
is
in
this?
London that is a boat filled with cats in some capacity.
Oh, well, I haven't
I
found
was
it.
fortunate enough to go to E3 last year. Some of the people that I was showing our demo to were from London. So no matter where I dropped them in the city, they would go, oh my God, this feels like Camden. This, you know, this feels like Southwark. This feels like Westminster. When people are talking about some detail that I've put into the world and they're excited about it, like that feels so good as somebody who, you know, builds these worlds with care. I love it.
Valhalla?
And now some news for Brawlhalla fans. In just a few weeks, you'll be able to battle it out with your favorite legends on iOS and Android devices.
Shouldn't this be more of a pre-show thing? The game's been out.
Three, two, one.
This is, for those who don't know, a free-to-play Super Smash Brothers style game. I don't know why you want to play this on mobile with touch controls. That does not seem viable. I mean, imagine playing Super Smash Brothers only using touch controls. That sounds awful. It sounds like a nightmare. But for those who want to try the game out on mobile, there it is.
And now, whether you need a Tom Clancy action fix on the go, or want to dive back into one of the most beloved fantasy franchises in gaming, we've got you covered.
Wait, what are we looking at here? Is this another mobile game, or...? Yeah. Go figure. Might and Magic. Oh, okay. This is a Might and Magic game? It looks very generic. I don't know, I haven't played it, so I, obviously I can't judge, but... I've learned what to expect from mobile games. I suspect monetized to hell and back. Okay, this emphasis on mobile games needs to stop.
The target is being held on the ground floor.
This has like Team Fortress vibes. This, should I know what this game is?
Contact! Montaigne is down. Request air support. Target northeast rooftop.
Roger. Inbound, danger close.
I need an EMP deployed now.
EMP imminent.
And this is a CGI trailer, so not really representative of gameplay. On the top right, it says Elite Squad. Never heard of it.
Back in your cell.
Oh wait, is this the? Oh, it is the mobile game. The yeah. It takes all the Ubisoft characters.
Don't make me regret this.
Like Tom Clancy and like all the Tom Clancy characters from like The Division and Splinter Cell and right, it is another mobile game. All right, enough with the mobile games.
Speaking of Tom Clancy, it's been 5 years since Rainbow Six Siege first launched, and the community has never been stronger. In celebration of this milestone, Ubisoft Montreal has put together a special video to thank all of the amazing players and developers that have helped Siege become the game it is today.
How about a new Splinter Cell instead of just a Sam Fisher cameo in some mobile game?
In December 2015, a small team released Rainbow Six Siege. A game built on a strong vision.
This feels like pre-show stuff.
Competitiveness.
The mobile games and this right here.
Pour le joueur, le 1er décembre, c'est un début. Mais pour nous,
they should really be focusing on new stuff in the core presentation.
Tu peux t'y installer aussi, et nous serons là.
That original vision was quickly adopted by our passionate community, propelling it to a whole new level.
Like, we don't need to see more of this. Like, with the game's out, you know, people know about it.
Such a special moment, and being at 1 year anniversary of Rainbow Six.
I think a lot of people are here to see, you know, something really new, something.
More players today than we had in the past. It means
something that speaks to the future of Ubisoft.
But we also had our share of challenges.
Health that touches upon subjects like matchmaking, connectivity, all those aspects are absolutely critical to the experience of the player.
I mean, isn't there new content coming out for Siege?
We're always driven by you,
Quarantine.
our community, and together we grow stronger.
There is no sequel plan, and we're here for the next 10 years, so expect more Rainbow Six in your life for quite some time.
Look at this. All this time
that's
kind of being wasted on this could be used to show gameplay of, you know, upcoming titles.
Now 60 million players strong, we're just getting started. From the devs that build the game to the community that plays it.
Like, nothing wrong with the sentiments here, but this feels like a waste of time with the limited time real estate you have here.
If you haven't tried it yet, dive into our new Operation Steel Wave update available now and take Aiten Williams out for a spin.
A few days ago, we introduced y'all to a brand new multiplayer
Hyperscape.
It's now, it's time to venture into the
cyberpunky battle royale, which actually does look pretty decent, not gonna lie. It doesn't look too bad from what I saw. Another CGI trailer. They did show gameplay in the gameplay trailer that came out before Ubisoft Forward, so if you're curious about this, check that out.
A hack in the hyperscape. That's not supposed to be there.
Oh, there's
Let me get you all up to speed, okay?
Is there a story to this battle
About
royale?
30 years ago, everything that we feared about our future started to come true.
Far Cry 6 trailer coming soon, says Matteo
We made some bad
Comparin.
decisions. Actually, we made a lot of bad
That's true.
decisions. So
I'll bet you
here we
it's
are.
CGI though. I don't think they're gonna
10
show
billion
gameplay.
souls living in the crush of the megacities.
I could be wrong, but
But the people at Prisma changed everything. They gave everyone a way out. The Hyperscape. In the Hyperscape, The biggest draw by far is Crown Rush. This is where anyone can become someone.
So this is Ready Player One, Battle Royale. It's just this.
If you get good at Crown
tells
Rush,
us nothing about the gameplay.
it can change your life. But strange things have been happening lately. Rumors of people getting hurt. Users disappearing from the real world. A darker secret lies at the heart of Hyperscape. And we have to find it. Some of us are searching for a way up. Some of us for a way out. And for others, a new way altogether. That's what brings us to the edge of the future. To the Hyperscape.
I'm JC, Creative Director on Hyperscape.
You can already see a lot of the cosmetics you're going to be purchasing for this game.
Has established him as a top creative here at Ubisoft.
For me, what's exciting is we started building it from scratch. Seeing it grow, adding ideas is really cool.
Hello, contender. Welcome to the Hyperscape.
Okay, so here's the
game takes place in 2054.
Here's what the game actually looks
future,
like.
Where humanity has grown a little darker. One of the companies there, they are launching what's called the Hyperscape, which is a virtual world and the internet of the future. It's the place where everything converges. Within the virtual world, there is a battle royale that takes place in the virtual city of Neo Arcadia. Then we also introduce a lot of new things. You get the opportunity to do parkour on the rooftops, to go into interiors where it's much more narrow, much more stressful. You get to go to the landmarks where there's more opportunities to get cool items, but also more players, so it's a risk-reward kind of deal. We introduce the notion of hacks, special abilities that you can pick up on the fly to adapt your tactics. With hacks, you can do things like teleport yourself, you can wrap yourself into a ball and bounce around the battlefield.
Because why not?
A lot of abilities that let you have fun, that are toys that you can play with. And finally, it's made as a spectacle, so all the viewers will be able to interact with the game on different levels through the Twitch extension. So every few minutes, there's going to be a vote, and viewers will be able to decide what effect they want to affect the whole battle. So things like changing the gravity, infinite ammo, or stuff like that. So players, while this happens, really have to adapt to all kinds of stuff that is happening.
So I'm not big on Battle
Royale. It's
Royale.
really exciting because right now, as we speak, we're launching the open beta, and so it's going to be available for free-to-play for all PC players worldwide. And I really want to thank all the players, all the streamers, and all the viewers who participated in tech test and who will participate in the open beta.
So
Here's
yeah.
a short glimpse of what
I'm not
you
big
can
on Battle
expect.
Royale, but Hyperscape doesn't, like, as far as Battle Royales go, it looks like it does its own thing, you know?
Watch and learn how it's done.
I do like the aesthetic of it. Again, Battle Royale is just not my thing, but
Mine.
this doesn't look too bad for a Battle Royale.
Let's show them what I'm made of.
Doesn't look like just a clone. It actually looks like they're trying to create their own identity in the genre. So fans of the Battle Royale experience might have a good time with this. I don't know.
Here we go.
A lot of verticality here.
The digital world of the Hyperscape gave our artists and developers incredible freedom when it came to designing characters.
Production manager Ana Maria Musca is going to take us behind the scenes of character design.
My name is Ana Maria Musca. I'm the production manager for characters and weapons on Hyperscape. We have paid an exceptional amount of detail to our characters. We switch different outfits, different fashion statements, different tattoos, different
Rockstar Cola
materials
says, love your
until they see
content,
them
man.
as real
Thank you.
individuals, as real people.
Love your
So
support.
the second you pick a character, you see them in game, you understand what their motivations are and what drives them and what challenges them. This was the first lineup of characters. This is our default base, but even starting from the hair down, everything has been meticulously thought of. Would this person actually like this type of outfit? Would this person enjoy the type of tattoos that we're putting on them? Will they actually like to be in this body? Each season, we plan to produce new outfits for these characters. So we're hoping some of our players are gonna see the effort and maybe even correlate some of the accessories to what's gonna happen in the game.
And maybe even spend hundreds of dollars.
We're very excited to see it
On
in
a
people's
game.
hands.
Or just one set of cosmetics.
As we move into the next generation of gaming, Ubisoft has been working closely with console makers to take advantage of all the extraordinary capabilities these new consoles will offer.
Now we have a special guest to tell us a little more.
Hey everyone.
Oh, Phil.
Spencer from Xbox.
Oh, hello there.
With Watch Dogs Legion, Ubisoft is supporting smart delivery. So you will get the absolute best version of the game.
Smart delivery
on
is
any
freaking
version
awesome.
of Xbox you're playing on.
Kudos
on Series X
to Microsoft.
You'll get to take advantage of the amazing work the team has done with DirectX ray tracing to create an absolutely immersive version of London like you've never seen before. Ubisoft has a unique ability to create immersive worlds, setting a new bar that continues to drive our industry forward. I'm a huge fan of Assassin's Creed. I love the time I've spent exploring the world in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and I can't wait for you to see the gameplay from Assassin's Creed Valhalla that's coming up now.
Oh, here we go.
All right, we know you've been waiting to hear more about this game since it was announced back in April.
I have some thoughts
And
about
now
my
it's
hands-on
time for
experience.
A deep dive into the world of Vikings.
Which I cannot share
My
right
name
now.
is Julien Laferrière, and I'm the producer of
Within
Assassin's
like 10
Creed
minutes,
Valhalla.
the video will be up.
So a couple of weeks ago, we announced Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and the reaction from the fans was just amazing. The time period of Vikings is really, really inspiring. When we did our research, we found that, they were not mindless barbarians. Vikings were actually farmers trying to find new lands for them to settle. And so they had really human motivations. So for us to have this opportunity to tell kind of the real story about Vikings and kind of separate ourselves from the myths and the folklore is really something that drove us to make this game. The team went to Norway and England to take the same roads that the Vikings did, to really experience what it meant to be a Viking
What
at
is
that
that?
time.
What were they cooking over there?
And then leaving Norway, which is barren but majestic, and just coming by boat in England and see those rolling green hills full
Man,
of sheep.
I'd love to go to
full of
Norway one
life.
day.
It's just this moment that most likely the Vikings felt as well. You need to see this land of opportunity. And this is exactly the feeling we want players to experience in this game. It is a personal adventure, it is the story of Eivor, a Viking chieftain. Eivor is either a male or a female. You decide when you start the game. They will have to leave Norway to settle in England because you just can't live in Norway anymore. There's too much political pressure, no resources available. Obviously, in England, it's full of Anglo-Saxons and other people, and they don't really want you there. So you will have to fight your way there to kind of build your own settlement and see your clan prosper. Vikings were brutal warriors.
Shields!
And the fact that they were mastering a lot of weapons coming from the medieval times really inspired us to kind of revamp the fight system, to leverage the brutality and the intensity of Viking combat. Vikings were not only fighting face-to-face, they were masters of stealth and deception when needed. They used basically any sort of tactics they could use to win the battle. So we want to portray the full range of combat that you can imagine coming from the Vikings.
Why are they showing so much of the CGI trailer? Show the game.
We are very happy to finally be able to show you the game we're all been working on.
Jesus.
So please enjoy this deep dive into Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
In Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you will relive the epic saga of the Viking invasion of England. You play as Eivor, a Viking from Norway, who will lead his or her battle-hardened warriors across the North Sea to the British Isles. Eivor is driven by an ambitious goal, to build a thriving Norse settlement in a hostile land.
For the good of our clan, it is time we go a Viking. Today we raid, that tomorrow we may build.
England is a dark age tangle of broken kingdoms and warring dynasties, a land of opportunity and riches. As you prowl England's rivers by longship, you may raid locations you spot from the shoreline. Ground your ship and blow your horn to lead your raiding crew into battle. Your crew will assist you in all your raids, fighting enemies, battering down doors, and stealing cargo too heavy for one set of arms. Whatever riches and resources you pillage may be used to develop your settlement, giving you access to useful services, better tools, and new settlers.
So the settlement system is one thing that the demo did not feature.
Map. It will serve as a record of the allies you have made, and a guide for future opportunities. The Viking Age was a time of warriors and legends. In Valhalla, you will find the largest variety of enemies ever assembled in an Assassin's Creed game. Every archetype offers a unique challenge. Some will coordinate with their allies for special attacks, while others will use nearby objects to their advantage, including the bodies of fallen warriors. To face these attacks, you must find and exploit your opponent's weaknesses to gain the upper hand. Take the fight to your foes with a host of brutal new combat abilities. Snare them with the Viking harpoon. Pummel them with throwing axes. Incapacitate them with the new stun system to keep them at a distance, or finish them off. Dual wield any two weapons you wish to unleash a deadly combination of attacks. Customize your fighting style as you see fit, and become a legendary Viking warrior.
Oh, is that a hammer? I did get to use the flail weapon.
Available to dual
did not
wield,
get to use a hammer.
Including two shields.
What? You can double shield? Oh crap, okay. Interesting. You can dual wield shields.
Situations call for violence. In this new land, a Viking must find a way to adapt. As Eivor is not welcome in England, you may need to outsmart your enemies, avoiding unwanted attention in towns and bustling cities. Use Eivor's hood and cloak to blend with crowds, and slip past watchful eyes, an unseen hunter among the people. From capital cities and villages to the dense forests and rolling hills of England, exploration is vital to keeping yourself sharp. You must feed off the land if you hope to endure. Hunt and forage to replenish your health and fortify your equipment. Search pagan temples and Roman ruins for new activities and challenges to strengthen yourself and your settlement. The more you explore, the more of England's secrets you will reveal.
So my hands-on was 3 hours for this game. There is a lot here that I didn't get to see.
England, the enemy will push back. In a series of climactic moments, Assassin's Creed Valhalla will feature massive assaults in which you will lead Eivor's army into battle.
I did get to do one of these
heavily guarded
raids.
Saxon fortresses.
Today, we will reclaim her.
One of these
Today,
castle
we fight
invasions.
for your land. And tomorrow, we rebuild.
For East Anglia.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla will transport you to wondrous and haunted lands, inspired by Norse myths and England's pagan roots. It will challenge and surprise.
Thank you, man.
With unforgettable characters, thrilling triumphs, and tragic losses, giving you the chance to live your own Viking saga.
Was that like a Mortal Kombat style X-ray vision? Definitely never saw that. Where's that Far Cry 6 trailer?
9th century England is truly unlike
I think that's how
anything
they're
the
gonna end
franchise
it.
has seen before.
Show's
Assassin's Creed
almost
Valhalla
over.
will release this holiday season on Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, PS4, PC, and Stadia.
We're close to wrapping up today, but before we go, our CEO, Yves Guillemot, is here to share a few words.
I hope you will have enjoyed what you have seen today, and that you will love playing these games. I'm proud of our teams for delivering an ambitious, broad, and creative lineup of games. And we haven't shown you everything yet. In fact, we have a lot more to come. So you will have another Ubisoft Forward to reveal even more about our upcoming games. But before ending this show, we have one more thing to share with you.
Los Pollos Hermanos. Yeah, this is Far Cry 6. Starring Giancarlo Esposito. I do love that actor. Yep, they're not gonna show gameplay. It's a teaser of sort. CGI trailer to announce the game, but as I predicted, we won't see the game in action, I don't think. Unless... all this for a fried chicken empire. Libertad. Freedom. Look at me, Hector. And that's that. In about a minute, oh wait, there's more? Some people are speculating this might be Vas because of the scar here. But I don't know if that's true or not.
It's beautiful, amigo.
Nope. Or maybe?
Perfect. But useless. I have something for you, Diego. Give me your hands.
Diego.
Papa.
Now, the grenade is simple. It has 4 basic parts. The shell, which contains the explosive, the fuse, the handle, and of course,
the pin.
The pin.
I'm already loving his performance.
What are you doing?
Breathe, Diego. Breathe. The pin simply holds the handle in place. It is only when you let go that this grenade goes boom.
Life lessons, everybody.
Follow me. Now.
Somebody here says...
El Presidente, which means that someday you will be El Presidente. And our people, they do not know how to be happy. They are torn apart by opinions, noise, indecision, strangled by their own freedoms. And even if you have love in your heart, even if you want what's best for them, if you only want to save them from themselves, they will hate you, Diego. Everything you say, do, believe, will be wrong.
Ooh, don't drop that, mate. Don't drop that. You might just kill El Presidente. At which point credits will roll real quick.
They will answer you with screams. Call you evil. A monster. And give you this.
Muerte a
So
Castillo.
you tell me, are you evil?
Death to Castillo.
Are you a monster? Because our country is like this grenade, except it has 2 basic parts. Our people. And you must clutch them nice and tight, or we all go boom. You understand now? Prove it.
God, Giancarlo, his performance, so magnetic. Now, Diego, where is your cousin Dora? Call her here and teach her the same lesson.
And with that, we're wrapping up our first Ubisoft Forward. Today, we've seen the next generation of Assassin's Creed, the birth of a resistance in Watch Dogs Legion, the cyber chaos of Hyperscape, and the epic reveal of Far Cry's newest installment, along with so much more.
Remember, we'll be back later this year with another Ubisoft Forward filled with tons of game news and updates.
Thanks for joining us.
Okay, well, yeah, as I expected, no gameplay. But I think Giancarlo's performance definitely carries that trailer.
Hey, welcome to the Ubisoft Forward post show. My name is Yusuf Magid, and this is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. We're going to take a deep dive into about 30 minutes of gameplay, and we're joined by a very special guest here.
Hey everyone, this is Philippe Bergeron, otherwise known as Fizz.
So now they're showing the gameplay. Interesting.
On Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
So Fizz, we're setting up here for what looks like an epic encounter. Tell us exactly what's going on here.
All right,
so
it is
here
12:45.
Midway through the
past
quest
12:45, I can
that
talk
we're
about the
showing,
game.
For UB Forward. Here we're looking at the assault of Berg Castle. So these are big moments that usually sort of culminate at the end of the
Be sure
story.
to check out my
And so
impressions.
here
They should be up right now. Let
Viking
me
Raider
make
is
sure.
taking a group of raiders and Fyrds into Berg Castle to go and take down Rued and his clan.
So who exactly is Rued, and why does Eivor sort of want to pick a fight with him?
Basically, Rued comes into play about halfway through this story arc, where at the beginning of the arc, this is something that happens before, Rued basically caused a lot of turmoil within the territory, and Oswald, who's the sort of elderman to be to inherit this territory, needs your help to take him down. Oswald having just been defeated in a previous quest, and so here this is revenge, but also accomplishing your ultimate goal.
So Fizz, as you're talking, we're seeing some of the combat of Valhalla.
Yeah,
Can you tell us a little bit about the changes to combat this time around?
We wanted to basically add a lot of new mechanics to it. So we added like some dual wielding for the player, like a stun system in there. And we really needed to do this to sort of portray that sort of the brutality that comes with being a Viking.
But I'll stick around for this demo.
The time and the character.
Yeah, so the game is very similar to Odyssey and Origins. If you're into that experience,
He lives.
then you may end up enjoying this. If you're not into that type of Assassin's Creed game,
here Eivor has taken her entire army.
This will not
through
be
the
your
assault,
thing.
And finally, it's revealed that our Elderman, our ally Oswald, is still alive, and Rued has him captive.
So this is what it comes to, Wolfkist? 2 Danes fighting over a filthy Saxon whoreson? If this swine is your prize, come and get him.
So now that we've seen that Oswald is alive, we have Rued within our sights. What's the next step?
So yeah, I did this
so
boss
the next
battle.
move for Eivor is to finally face off against Rued. She has her allies; they can take care of the rest of the army. Now it's time to go one-on-one against Rued in one of our boss battles, actually.
And I decimated this boss. The Ubisoft rep that was there when I was playing the game
And it's worth
said
pointing
that
out, actually, that here
I killed him
what we're
too
showing is
fast,
the player,
and that they need to maybe
going and
rebalance
facing off against Rued aggressively.
the boss.
We
But I
tend
don't
to always have to support a 360-degree approach in these things. So the player could have approached this a little bit more stealthy and gotten at least like a good critical hit on either Rued or his wolf, and so you can play this a little bit more strategically if that's your.
Oh, the guy can heal. I didn't know that.
So we're not only fighting Rued here, but also his pet wolf, right?
One of my preferred strategies is to eliminate the wolf first, just focus fire on him. It takes at least one opponent out of the
So the combat to me
now Rued will
felt
have
really
extra abilities that come into play if you do eliminate
There's
his
just lack
wolf.
of impact.
But I think having one opponent less in the
I don't know,
battlefield
the combat did not
makes
feel
for
great
a
to
good
me.
strategy in the whole.
And you'll see, wow, that stomped out a ton of damage.
Valhalla is my destiny. That fate will not be met today. Riders, they should be roomed, wolf-kissed. Made thralls, not treated as equals. We are better than this.
Now the build that I played was an early build, so it was kind of buggy and like there were some jank aspects that Ubisoft says they are, you know, working on.
These arrogant swine. Eivor, no! He should be tried before
Like the
God,
facial
a
animation
lawful assembly.
looks
All right,
really,
so
really
we've
dated
defeated
for
Rued,
2020.
we freed Oswald. What comes next?
Like the character models look
Oswald in this
not
case
great.
prefers for Rued to be kept alive, and so you basically have to choose: are you going to go against his wishes or stay true to your nature?
The thing that I liked most is when
So
they
we have
put
this
me out in
choice
the
to
open
make,
world.
But before we get into that, I want to rewind a little bit.
And I
because we
just got
did
to
this
explore.
big,
There
grand
were
assault,
a wide variety of
but
activities.
Eivor couldn't have done it alone. She clearly had to recruit some folks along the way, get some troops, get some
From
allies.
like world bosses
so let's
to
actually
like some
rewind
puzzle
and
stuff.
see how we went about.
And I like the
gathering those
atmosphere the
troops.
game's going for.
Right. So when coming up to an assault, it's
It
a game
definitely
of numbers.
has a Witcher
Eivor
vibe.
can go into pretty much any location and be a stealthy Viking, eliminating some of the assets, which ultimately would be strategy, you can do that, and you'll have some of the ingredients or of the assets there that will have been sabotaged, but you still need an army. So here what we're seeing is Eivor going around the countryside and raising what we call a Fyrd, which is the men and the women of the territory who come up and fight in the name of a king. So
I'll be honest with you, Witcher 3 is a 2015 game, and it looks better than Valhalla overall, I think. Like facial animation-wise, the world, and the weather effects, the lighting effects, I don't know.
Yeah, so she's really using like the image and like
just everything
the leadership that Elswald
looks better in
had,
Witcher 3, and it's
people
years old.
in his name. She's going to recruit these people.
Pretty words, Dane, but the men of Theovard have their own battles to fight.
So we're told by this Reeve that there are troops, there are allies that he could add to our cause, but first we sort of need to do him a favor, is that right?
Yeah, so obviously these people have been run down by Rued and the impact he's had on the territory, so I think a lot of these people have sort of lost hope. And so you need to show them that there is hope. And so here Eivor is basically helping them take back one of their prized locations.
This is one of the missions that I did.
By taking a couple men and raiding a nearby township, basically taking it back for the people and showing that there's a reason to continue fighting, and then get them on your side.
So interestingly, the way this demo encourages you to do this raid, or the demo that I played, this exact same scenario, was to bring in your Vikings and like do like group versus group combat. I decided to just go in solo and stealth my way through it. That was an option that I could take, and
when Eivor does this, obviously you have access to a full suite of abilities. So again, the improvements that we've done to the fight system, you have some brutal axe throwing in there. You have archery or like a range combat.
Stealth in the demo that I played felt
so really, again, like depending on what your playstyle is, you can customize your
because the
loadout
AI
and go in
was
there,
kind of weird. I don't know if they're just still refining the AI, but the AI, sometimes it was just really dumb. Other times it saw me from a mile away when I was sneaking. Like it was,
Fizz, we
I don't know.
just saw
it was
this
strange.
giant pulse go out. What exactly was that?
So that is what we call the Odin sight. The Odin sight is basically our interpretation of the Eagle Vision from previous games, and we thought it was good to sort of bring that back. It's basically Eivor's intuition. It's how she perceives the world. When the player uses that, it'll highlight basically interactive objects.
The finishers in this game are brutal, though.
So
I think the finishers in this game are
like
really well done and really impactful.
So it really is like
that one right there. That was pretty cool. I had actually not seen that one.
Understanding the world and showing you like things that you can go and touch.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of things we can touch, we just picked up this awesome new weapon.
It's something we wanted to play with on Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
I do like that weapon.
We have fewer weapons in the game, but you can invest in them more, so they become your weapon. And so depending what your preferred playstyle is or your preferred weapon type, then you can go and choose, I'm gonna fight with this weapon and invest heavily into that.
So it's not just a loot fest.
Weapons, but we see something here called the Book of Knowledge. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
They unlock skills for the players. So here you can see the
Valkyrie
dive that has just been unlocked. We have these spread out throughout the world. So again, to promote exploration and discovery. As you travel through the world and you explore locations, you can find these books that will add abilities that you can go and invest in, put into your loadout, then go into the different locations with the different quests in the game and use those depending on what your playstyle is.
Yeah, Dive of Valkyries, it's a pretty powerful move.
Now we've recaptured this village.
You can destroy enemies with it.
For our assault.
Boss battles
jump
included.
Back now and figure out what we want to do with Rued.
I let him live.
The rightful king of East Anglia has spared your life today, and so it will be.
Compassion is a virtue suited for anyone, Eivor, including you. Thank you.
Eivor decided to let him live. Rued is really angry about that. Being a Norse Viking, being put to the death in battle is your road to Valhalla, so he was basically denied access to Valhalla in this situation. Obviously, all of these decisions come into play later on in the game, so we have very difficult decisions for the player to make. We didn't want to have easy decisions.
Yeah, you know, when I was playing, I decided to listen to Oswald and spare Rued's life, but what exactly is the relationship like between Eivor and Oswald?
So the relationship between Eivor and Oswald is an alliance. It's basically Eivor is surrounded by territories that initially getting into England are hostile towards her, and obviously if you want to set up a new settlement, you want to make sure that your neighbor is friendly. So here in East Anglia, Oswald is the man for the job, where putting him into a position of power would help her sort of secure her territory. So earlier on to the territory,
character models look unnerving.
Eivor comes in here, meets Oswald. The problems he had with Rued are sort of put to light, and going through the arc, you basically help him deal with Rued and aligning basically Danes with Saxons in one territory.
So, Fizz, we've completed the assault. We've gotten our hands dirty with some combat, taken down Rued. We have this big open region of East Anglia, so before we head off to Oswald's wedding, what do you say we head out, have some fun, and see what we can get into in the open world?
That sounds great.
So we see a cat here with a speech bubble above it, and you best believe if you let me talk to a cat, I'm gonna talk to a cat.
Yeah, these are some of our some of my favorite moments actually in the game, where we put out a whole bunch of events throughout the territory. And it sort of rewards, again, exploration, going around. It's a chance for us also to sort of showcase a different side of Eivor. A lot of the quests sort of deal more with like politics and warfare, and this shows a slightly more human nature to her. So it permits us to explore that character a little bit more.
So when I did this quest, the cat didn't run away; it just stood there.
And so
I just had to walk like
you're
a little
to
behind me
kid
and just
with his cat, and
catch the
ultimately
cat that way.
get that
So
cat to sort of join
this
your
quest
crew.
took me like a second to do
as a
for my playthrough.
Cat raider.
You just said cat raider way too casually. You're telling me I could have a cat Viking raider on my longship?
That's exactly what I'm telling you.
Oh my god, yes, I love it. Perfect.
So yeah, as you're riding around the rivers of England, you would see a cat basically walking around your longship, keeping your Viking raiders company.
So there's like a network of rivers, like veins across England, across the map, so you can use the longbow to traverse quickly through the world that way.
So starting out on this project,
you can also fast travel, go on horseback.
One of the biggest images that we all have when we think about Vikings in our game, and so Vikings had this awesome design for longship that had a very shallow hull, so it permitted them to go very far inland very quickly, and you could basically disembark Viking raiders like on pretty much any shore. We added that into the game where you can basically sail up to any location and then just decide to disembark with your guys and raid a location, loot all its treasure, get back in the ship, and then continue sailing down the river to your next opportunity.
So I know past Assassin's Creed games allowed for songs and things like that to be sung on ships. Will Valhalla have a similar version of that?
Yeah, so this is something we actually wanted the crew of your ship to become like your home away from home. So we added stories and songs into the ship. So basically, as the player is going around, you could decide to have your skald sort of sing a song for you as you row down the river. But you can also decide, depending on who the raiders are in your ship, to hear more about their life. So you can actually queue up stories, and they'll give you a little bit more background on who they are. So you get to know your sort of fighters as you're traveling around the world, which is a cool moment.
I personally don't engage too much with Assassin's Creed's naval system, so I like that they scaled it down more.
We had this on previous Assassin's Creed.
That it's not a full-fledged, pirate game, basically.
You could pull out,
like an Odyssey,
the horse sort of follow the track.
I rarely
we have
engage
a similar
with the naval
thing for
combat.
the ship, where you can put up your sails. It's cruise control for the ship, so you can pull back, take in the scenery, listen to some songs or some stories, and just take it all in.
So, speaking of Viking songs, we have an activity here that's not exactly singing, but kind of related, right?
Yeah, so here what we have is what we call flighting, which was an activity that Norse people would partake in. They would like to have a battle of wits and sort of poetry, where insults would be thrown back and forth between each other. The idea was to try and have a good insult, but also to have a good rhythm and
I actually did not do this minigame.
So
I'm curious
it's
about this.
Basically a precursor to rap battles.
Here's the silver. Now begin.
Drop a beat.
To all those whom I speak, they say Eivor's a clod.
Then you're speaking to fools and their knowledge is flawed.
Well...
How exactly do you go about being successful in one of these?
The trick behind a good flight was to choose the right insult, identifying the right cadence, and then trying to find what rhymed the best.
I'm known for my might.
Interesting. Interesting. Silent whispers all claim that you're terribly dense.
This seems kind of, I don't know.
Then you've clearly misheard them. My wit is immense.
Oh, you looked out with that one. Well, what a surprise. Eivor of the Raven Clan is a true talent.
Your mama is so fat.
Don't believe everything you hear, unless it touches on my flighting. Then heed every word.
Take the coin.
So now that we've proven our sharp tongue and wit, I think it's time for a bit more relaxing activity. So we're fishing here.
Yeah, that's it.
The chat seems to have enjoyed some
we
YongYea
gave Eivor
beatboxing.
a fishing line, so
That's
you can
like
actually
about the
throw
only
out a
thing I can
line
do with
and
beatboxing.
go catch and fish.
I'm not a beatboxer,
This
like
is
at all.
used basically to play into our new health loop, where the player will lose health in the world, and it doesn't automatically regenerate like we would have in the past. So you actually have to go out and get some supplies. So you'll find mushrooms and some food that you can gather. But here, like you can also catch some fish and consume that to regain some health. We also will sometimes have it in certain quests. So it's a good way to sort of chill out on the side of the water and just,
I did not get to try
take
fishing.
it all in.
I guess that's what it looks like. But yeah, food is a big part of this game. Health
So
no
this
longer
is what
regenerates.
We call one of our offering
automatically.
altars.
You have to
so the idea is
manually
that
like
you
eat food or
find
collect
these around
food
the world, and you make offerings to it. So it'll take like animal parts and stuff that you can find throughout the world. Here, what you're seeing, though, is sort of like a fancy version of it, where as you do your offering, you get interrupted by some kids that basically come and steal your stuff. So it's just a way for us to sort of showcase that, like, the systems and the activities in the world can sort of play in with some quests and some little events. So it's our way to sort of dress up these moments and make it all fit inside the whole experience.
Yeah, this seemed like a really sort of unexpected turn for what I thought was going to be kind of a simple interaction.
Yeah, and it's really what we were trying to do with these events is to give another dimension to Eivor, other than just, the pure rar Viking or the politician. Because you can imagine at some point that will grow old if you're always telling that version of the character. So it lets us really go into the depth of who is Eivor, what motivates her, how she can interact with the world outside of warfare and politics.
But your stealth needs work.
We were close.
And it also showcases like a different facet of the world at the same time. It's not only Eivor. So it just widens the breadth of the stories that we can tell.
So Eivor as a protagonist.
These two children?
These are kids of East Anglia. They are going through tough times with whatever Rued's been doing to the territory. And so they're just here trying to survive and basically exploit the people that are there to make offerings.
It was kind of nice to see that Eivor wasn't really necessarily upset at them for stealing, and
so yeah, Eivor as a protagonist, like I love Cassandra in Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Money, or maybe just
Eivor
say, hey, good luck.
has yet to.
On your way.
Yeah,
I played male
Eivor. We also
Eivor.
wanted to do a lot. Like so here we're
I
doing
don't know.
an event. We do it
He
in
has yet
quests
to
as well,
really
but we want to
captivate me, but I only played
give
4
a lot of
hours, so
this
I need to
agency
really
in the player's
see
hands
the
so
character through the whole
they
game.
Can sort of shape
To
Eivor
see if they
a
add
little
nuance
bit,
to the character and like
who she is,
making
so
someone
represents them a little bit
or
more.
her
We can role-play
someone
that a little
I
bit,
can become
better.
attached to.
And again, it just gives her like a little bit more humanity in these moments.
What large walkers should do. Provide for small walkers.
Here, large walker.
A necklace?
Yes, it's a St. Martin seal. You're welcome here anytime, large walker. You're one of us now. Visit us, okay?
I will. Take care now, small green walkers.
So I think AC veterans might recognize this here, but what exactly is Eivor chasing down?
Yeah, so here you're seeing Eivor running down one of our tattoo images. So this is challenging the player on free run abilities, but also for fans of the series, sort of pulling at their heartstrings for some beloved features.
Collectibles.
So are we going to be able to tattoo Eivor?
Yes, by collecting these tattoos, you actually bring them back to your settlement, and then you can customize different body parts, having different tattoos.
I didn't know about the tattoos.
So again, another form of expression, and it's sort of to represent that Viking culture.
Fizz, one of my favorite things.
Your body's mostly covered up, so
East Anglia was
how often
coming
can you
upon
see
a
the
house or
tattoos?
building and realizing that there was a chest inside, but that there was no easy way in. And in this case, I saw all the doors were barred, but I knew that because there was a chest in there, there must have been some way to get inside. So I went around the back and, found a way in.
Yeah, I'm glad you actually caught on to that. You're pointing at something that we wanted to work on a lot on Valhalla, where we wanted the exploration to make you feel smarter. So we played a lot with puzzle solving, so making sure that every house that you find sort of appeals to you, like it draws your attention, and then when you want to come and explore, it's not given to you. You still have to work for it a little bit, so it'll challenge you on your observation skills, logic, just trying to find how do I get into this. So we play a lot with level design, quest design to offer challenges to players, and you basically come out of it like with a better feeling for the exploration, but you also get to see more of a story behind any of these locations which we've crafted. So it gave us a little bit more time to sort of slow down the experience and tell a different version of a story.
I will say, I do like some of the mood and atmosphere the game gives off, like stuff like this.
A poor victim of someone's
It is very Witcher-esque for sure, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Speaking about exploration and just finding things out in the world, I was just wandering and came across this clearing and
there are
found
some
this
like
kind
cool
of
vistas and
morbid
scenery
altar.
in this game.
Yeah,
I
so
feel.
this is one of our bigger events that we have scattered in the world. So as Eivor explores,
But I feel like
you
Witcher
can
still does it
find,
better. And I know I keep
altars
comparing
like
it to
this,
Witcher, but
and by interacting with them,
it's got
here,
similar
it's a trap
vibes. Like
that's been set,
there's no other way to put it.
By this character named Regan. Now there's a bigger story behind all this. There's multiple steps to it later on. So this is one of the moments. It permits us to go into a slightly more mystical realm and play with a boss fight that has more magical abilities, if we will. And basically have this awesome boss fight in the middle of the swamps.
This boss fight, I think, actually
and so
looks
here, the
really cool.
abilities that you see Reagan using, like,
took me like
are
2
a little
tries
bit on the mystical
to kill
side
it.
of things. What's happening is Eivor at the beginning of that trap is poisoned, and so
I like
she
learn her
starts
pattern.
sort of hallucinating, seeing the world in a sort of different light and filter, and so that's sort of what lets us go into the realm of the weird.
My rage, spirit of my father's rage, fill me!
I do like that flail weapon. It's one of the more unique weapons in Assassin's Creed, I feel. Ooh, yeah, that happened to me a couple times.
Enough of this crackling and crunching. Let rest your demons.
So we just saw here that Regan belongs to something called the Daughters of Lyria.
Yeah, that's correct. By finding the other daughters, you'll get a little bit more backstory on who they are, so we don't want to spoil that too much. But it creates like a sort of greater story that is not on the main path in any way, but it is still very rich and adds to the lore of this world and actually plays into history.
So we just had a really exciting, really intense boss battle. I think it's time for something a little bit more relaxing and calming now.
Yeah, it's all here.
Yeah,
it's
the combat
all
in
about
this game is
pacing yourself with the highs.
I really
and the
hope
lows.
they can
so here
refine
we
it.
have a low chill moment of what we call building a cairn.
It's
so
so
Eivor,
just.
as she explores the world, will find
There's
these
such
sort
a lack of
meditative
impact.
areas where you have a pile of rocks that you could just
feels
stack
disconnected.
on top of one another using physics. And I mean, yeah, the ultimate goal is to try and get the highest pile of rocks, but really it's about taking in the sights, relaxing, taking a step back, and just building something.
Together we stack stones
Viking
into
Jenga.
cairns.
These?
Yes. Think of this as a test of mind and wit.
Stack the cairn stones high and wide into any shape.
Yeah, I did this.
I mean, you can spend as much time as you want building these things, making them as high as you want, as weird as you want. I'm sure, like, a lot of these stuff will end up on the internet, like people comparing structures. And the cool thing is that once you've built it and you decide to get out of it, it sort of stays there. And so that's yours, right? And until the moment where you come back and you want to build a new one, it's sort of cool that we were able to give that to players to express themselves.
At this point in the demo, we've explored East Anglia, we've met some children, we've broken into a house, we fought a boss, we built a cairn. I think now it's finally time to go and head off to Oswald's wedding.
Yeah, so this is the moment it's all been building up to. By the moment you get into the territory, it's sort of like mentioned by Oswald that he's trying to get married with his Dane lady. And so as you go through the arc, that's sort of like the underlying thread. Really, it's about Rued creating turmoil in the territory and helping Oswald sort of get above that and show that he's a good leader. And so you finally, after going through all of that arc, finally get these two together, go through their wedding, and you're invited to attend the ceremony. And then all the activities and fun times that comes afterwards.
Pretty sure that guy has cavities.
Yeah, as much as we've seen the brutal side of England, it's nice to see, you know, the joyous side of it as well.
Yeah, and it's something we really wanted to play on in Valhalla, where being a Viking is not only about being a raider or a warrior. I mean, there's revelry, there's feasting, there's partying that goes, and like if someone knows how to party, it's a Viking.
There's some mini games at the wedding.
So here, this is one of our opportunities to sort of show what a sort of Viking gathering is.
Rudimentary,
and what's
but
cool here is it's a good alliance of Norse culture with Saxon culture, sort of smashing those two things together and building bridges.
Yeah, I mean, what's a wedding without some drunk archery, right?
Yeah, so like, anything can happen in a Viking event, right? Eivor, yeah, here, just get drunk, shoot some arrows.
That's some fast shooting.
Barely a challenge.
Steady all, and ready yourself for the wedding race. The king and his bride against all!
My king!
So here we see the decision I made to spare Rued came back to bite us.
Yep, that's the decision you made, coming back. So as we said before, all of your decisions have consequences, and this is a big one.
I challenge you.
Did they not put him in prison or something? But yeah, this happened to me.
I accept.
You're basically presented with the option to sort of step in for Oswald, fight the fight for him, or let him go and fight his own fight.
This is an extra boss battle you can do, basically.
I chose to fight myself because I thought Eivor is the type of person who likes to finish what she started.
Plank by plank, and a dead king cannot keep his oaths. Let me finish this.
Yeah, a lot of people in the chat mentioning the facial animation.
Swine.
Very
I'll slay the wolf
stilted,
kissed,
right?
Then hang you with your own tongue.
How does
It just doesn't look very natural.
Differ from our previous fight with him?
So at this point, you've eliminated his wolf, so it's just him, and so he's angry at this point, and so he will start using his big gun abilities like fairly earlier on in the fight.
Yeah, like janky animations like that.
It's way more vicious, way faster. There's less strategy. He goes literally swords blazing at you, and so this is a fight to the death.
This player needs to use their abilities more. Throw some axes. Use the Dive of the Valkyries.
And of course here, like, this is the decision you made to go and fight him, but there's multiple outcomes to this scenario. You could have let Oswald fight his own fight and prove basically his station as the rightful leader. If you had eliminated Rued, obviously this would not have happened. It would have been a slightly more joyous occasion. But ultimately, in all scenarios, you still have an alliance with Oswald. He's proven to be the right leader for this territory and to be a good ally for you.
Now, will there be multiple endings, or are decisions just like little events like this where you get an extra boss battle doesn't really have an overarching effect on the world and the characters.
So we're about to take off from the wedding, but Eivor decides it's a good idea to check up on her friend Finner.
Yeah, so Finner is probably one of the more recurring characters in this arc. You get to meet him very early. He's a very endearing character, sort of used to have a Viking life, sort of misses it, and going through all these adventures together is sort of like lights that fire back, and so he's willing to join you in your raiders. So he's one of many raiders that you'll encounter in the game, and you can sort of recruit, bring back home, and then have them sort of join you on your adventures on the longship. He can tell you these stories that we're telling you about. You get to know a little bit more about him. So again, it's a fun way to sort of discover more about these characters that you meet and bring them along for adventures.
Together. I'll gather my things.
Well, folks, we've come to the end of our Assassin's Creed Valhalla playthrough. Fizz, thank you so much for joining us. When and where can people play it?
Assassin's Creed Valhalla will be out on Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, and is coming to Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PC, and Stadia on November 17th.
November 17th. So they got a couple months. So it's July, August, September, October. They got 4 months to polish things up and refine it. And this game really, like, the impression I got is there's a lot of work to do, a lot of refining to do. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that, ladies and gentlemen. My impressions are up. I have very mixed feelings about the game. I'm worried about this game. Hopefully they can really fix some of the issues that I have with it. But yeah, it's just like the dialogue feels kind of stoic. The combat doesn't feel impactful, like there is much weight and connection between you and the enemy. The stealth felt, I don't know, not satisfying more often than not because of some weird AI behavior. So it just feels like there's a lot of work to do in those 4 months, and hopefully it all comes together by the end. But I don't know, the exploration aspect I did kind of enjoy. It was kind of relaxing to just go around and see what's out there and encounter some bosses and do some like puzzle activities. Hopefully there is a wide variety of these activities, and it's not just like a copy and paste of the same bosses or the same puzzles over and over and over again. I hope the game finds a way to stretch itself across multiple, like dozens of hours, essentially. But yeah, I hope you all check out my impressions of both Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Watch Dogs Legion. Both games I had like mixed thoughts about. Some good things about them, some not so great. And that's where I'm going to end it for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning into this stream. And yeah, I'll see you guys in whatever stream happens next. I think there's a Nintendo one happening down the line in July, so I'll maybe stream that. But always appreciate hanging out with you guys, as always. And with that, I will see you guys next time. Yong out.